what I'm going to take a digression to understand what is opening balance, closing balance functions in DAX. You all know at least what is the term opening balance and closing balance. The opening balance is important when a company finishes in an accounting year and ends up with a closing balance. Okay, it starts with the open balance and it ends up with the closing balance for any specific calendar year. The last balance, in the accounts, right? So the closing balance is nothing but the last balance in the accounts. So this balance, the closing balance, will be carried forward to the next new financial year accounts and then becomes the opening balance. So whatever the previous year's closing balance will become an opening balance for your current year. The opening balance is the first entry in the new accounting period. If you remember that, this much, that is enough. And how we can achieve the opening balance and closing balance in DAX. Okay, the difference between opening balance, closing balance month, and opening balance, closing balance quarter, right? So how we can find out? So a month ends on 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, whereas a quarter ends in this month. How are the quarters in a year grouped? Okay, so we say the quarter one, you have Jan, but we divide the year, 12 months divided by 3. So whatever you get it, that is what you are in the quarter. This is the basic thing, right? We know very well. And the next thing is the syntax for opening balance and closing balance. This is the one. So this is the expression, the dates and filter, the opening balance, right? Or closing balance. Supposing you have the data something like this. Okay, this is what your data, and these are the dates given, and this is your account balance. On 31st January 2019, this is the balance you had, and 28th February, this is the balance you had. And if you look at the closing balance month for this month, right, 250. Whatever the opening balance for this month, right, that is the one is because this is not the opening balance. This is the account balance. This is the account balance. On this month, your account balance is 250 rupees or $250. And the right, so for the closing balance for this month, because this is the beginning of the month, hence this is going to be your closing balance. The next month, your salary got deposited or you got some money, right? You have something like 345. But the opening balance for this month is the closing balance of previous month. So this is the one. Okay, the previous month closing balance is your opening balance for this current month. Okay, and similarly here, the 31st March, this is what you are earning, and the previous month, the previous month closing balance, your current month opening balance. Similarly here, if you see here. And then if you see here in this column, this is going to be a little bit different. And here the closing balance for quarter. Okay, opening balance for quarter and the closing balance for quarter. The opening balance for the quarter is initially 0, nothing. Okay, the closing balance for the quarter is for this whole quarter. What is the closing balance? That is the one will get repeated across these months within the quarter. Across these 3 months within that quarter. And then the closing balance of the previous quarter will become your opening balance for your next quarter, April month. Okay, and this one, the 415 is your opening balance. What is the closing balance here? How did we get 710 here? How did we get this one? So this is what you are thinking, right? So for example, here, if you add all the things, so the final thing is 710, right? 710. This is the one is going to repeat it here. Okay, all these things it is repeating it. Okay, and so the same thing. So each quarter, for each quarter, the quarter closing balance will be repeated across each quarter. Okay, and here also the same thing. Now you understood what is the opening balance and closing balance. Month opening balance, month closing balance, and quarter opening balance, quarter closing balance. Now you understood. If you have a null value, what will happen? Okay, for example, in the case of January, you have the null value. What is going to happen? The closing balance of previous year, December 2008, right? That is the one will be considered here, the closing one. If you don't have any sales here, right, null here, that doesn't mean this is going to be null. The previous year's closing balance will become your opening balance for this month. Okay. So we will take a look at how to use the opening balance function in Power BI. So for this, I have used the data here, the personal account. Okay, this is the personal account. Whatever you have seen here, the same thing, we created the data here. So these are the data that are available. 2019 Jan to 31st December 2019, we can see the, each month, what is the account balance. For this, we need to find out the opening balance and the closing balance. Okay. For this, we use that function opening balance and closing balance. For example, if I select this visual, whatever the columns that we see, we have seen the two columns, the date and account balance, I just dragged and dropped it here. Look here, the date comes here, the account balance, we just simply dragged and dropped it. And then we have something else called the opening balance month. Okay. And if you see here, this is the measure I created it. So here sum of the account balance, comma, personal account date. Okay. So date wise, you give me the opening balance. That's all. Okay. And if you see here, what happens? The previous month closing balance becomes the current month opening balance. And then the previous month closing balance of 20th February will become, that became your opening balance for your March month. And then closing balance, even for that, the plain vanilla, okay, the closing balance, there is a built-in function. You don't have to write any program logic. Right, these functions enable to write less number of code. Simply you specify the account balance and then the date. Okay, that's all. It gives you the closing balance. And then opening balance quarter, you have something called opening balance month also available, and opening balance quarter is also available. And then closing balance quarter is available, closing balance month is available. Opening balance month, closing balance month, opening quarter, closing quarter functions are readily available. With that, you can generate the output in a matter of a few minutes, right? Within a minute, you can create a visual, something like that. So this one will help them to gain an insight in a pretty quick way. Got it? So hope you understood what is opening balance, how we can achieve the, what is opening balance, what is closing balance, month opening balance, what is the month closing balance, and quarter, those things we have seen it. And then the functions, right, we have seen it, how to use them in practice. It saves a lot of time. You don't have to write any the bigger logic. You don't have to write lines and lines of code. So next one is the rolling average dynamically. This one we will see it little later. This is this kind of scenarios you will often come across when you get placed. Okay, if you work on, if you see most of the analytics project, they will be doing rolling average or rolling total, rolling average, or more. It is also called the moving average, moving total. Before that, we will take a look at the functions like the month to date, year to date, quarter to date. For example, if I select this one, you see here the month to date sum of sales here. Total MTD. There is a function called total MTD. So the first argument is your expression. Second argument is your the filter. Okay, the order date. Here I have used the order date. Okay, to calculate the this one. Okay, what I will do is I will just create another visual. I misplaced the report file which I created it earlier. Okay, so anyhow, we will create it right now. So here I just select this table visual. And here what we are going to do is the same thing. Okay, order date, month to date, because if you want to see month to date, let me just go here. And here month prefix, it is not required because we want to see every month whether the values are getting reset or not. Okay, the simple example, okay, it's already there here. Here in this case, month to date, sum of sales, everything is there. What I will do is I will just convert this as a slicer. And then here I'm going to use the year column here. I just select the list. Because the number of years are less, we can use it, the list slicer. The next, I'm going to create another slicer here. In this case, I'm going to say the month prefix. Here, I'm going to say month number, not month number, month prefix, January, Feb, something like that. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take for 2011 data, I'll be selecting it. And then for this month, I'm going to Jan, Feb, and March. There is some problem here. Better let me use a calendar here. I will use another table here. Let me check what kind of relation, because relationship matters. A calendar, sales W04 is also there. Good. So I just expand this one and see, because I use this long back. And here I just take the date and then date hierarchy. I'll put it here. I'm going to remove everything here. No, not this one. Let me do one thing. I'll put the date here. It gives me the continuous date here. Okay, and here what we will do is I will be using the sum of sales. So each day, what is the sales we can see? Day 1, day 2, day 3. And here, right, so here we can see that 31 days are there, right? 31 days are there. And for this year, okay. And I select Jan here. And then it is not showing the proper order. I will show you how to set it in the proper way. Okay? So 31. Along with, we will put the month prefix also here. Month also I will put it here. January, February, we can see it here. So what I will do is I'll just sort it. So January, look here, if you see here January 31st, 6984, and February, this is the sales. Okay. And the next one is I'm going to use the sum of sales. Month to date sum of sales. This is a measure. Here, what I do is instead of order date, I'm going to use this one. Yeah. So here the sum of sales is a measure. Already it is available. Let us go and check what, because are we using the right table or not? We need to see. Sum of sales, I just selected it here. Takes time. No, not this one. First, we'll check the sum of sales. Okay, I just see that. Yeah, some of the sales data I've used it. Here, what I do is sales, and because that one may not be that helpful. So sum of sales having this value, sum of sales W04, this one, this table, the sales W04. Okay, and then the next one is the total month to date. Month to date sum of sales. Here I just go here and I just say the sales underscore W04 and order date. I'm going to use the order date now. So not this one. With the date column, you're supposed to use it. In this case, I'm going to use this one. And then we'll see what happens. Total MTD function. Okay, here sum of sales, and second one is the sales W04 or date column. Okay, date column, you need to use it. I just drop this one here. Let's see what happens here. The same thing is displayed here, but the month to date is not happening correctly, right? So the first of this 2011 January 528, and it display the same thing. And where is the problem here? Everything is correct. I just go and check the calendar table. The calendar table, here I have used this one. Better, let's not hard code it. Min of sales underscore W04. It should show automatically this one. I don't know why it's not showing. Yes, I just go and check now. We will see what is happening. So 528, the same problem is happening here. Some of month to date sum of sales. Here, if I put the sales W04, let me do one thing. I don't know why it's not coming here. Sales underscore W04 order date dot date. Is that doing nothing, right? Even it's nothing is coming here. Actually, you're not supposed to use this one. Here the sales underscore W04 here we need to use the order date. Okay, let me just maximize this one. It's all 2011, and if you come down here, and if you see here, okay, let's do one thing. I just see that January alone. Okay, let's do one thing. I just select 2014, and then see here the same thing is happening here. The month to date function, right? So, okay, for the time being, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the calculate function. Calculate the calculate function, and here sum of sales. I don't know why it is not displaying the default thing. I'm just wondering, okay, let it be there. So when you select the measure, right, it should display the, okay, let me do one thing. I'll just select. Yeah, here in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say dates MTD. The dates MTD is also same as your total MTD, but you need to use the calculate function. Okay, you need to use the calculate function. And to date here, the calculate function. I don't know why the code completion feature is not coming. Calculate, and here the sum of sales underscore W05 to type everything. Something wrong here. The sales, okay, and comma, and I just say alt and press enter, and I'm going to use the tab here, dates YTD, and inside of this, I'm going to say the sales underscore W04, here the order date. Even in this case, it is not giving us the correct value here. What could be the problem? The problem here is, okay, so both the total MTD and dates MTD, we can use it for the same purpose. Okay, and here let me do one thing, dates MTD, where is the dates MTD? See here, I made a mistake, YTD I typed, MTD, and then the same one. So what is the, what is why that thing we need to note down here? Yes, let me do one thing, calendar table, the date. Yeah, calendar table date. And then this is the one I'm going to use it. And then the calculate function. It is not giving me anything here. Let me do one thing. I'll just remove the date here. Yes, it is working correctly, right? So look here, 528 plus 314, 842. I made a mistake of putting the date column from my sales W04. Actually, we want to use the date table to filter the sales table, right? So we need to use the calendar table or the date dimension as per our dates MTD. Okay, only then it is doing this one. So now we will go and check it, but with MTD, we are not able to get it. So month to date here, the same issue here. Yes, it is doing the correct thing. So what is the lessons learned? The second argument, we need to use the date table, date times. As I explained to you at the beginning of the session, right? We need to have a dedicated date table in order to do the filtering. Okay, I just did this intentionally. Okay, for you people to remember this one. Most of them, they make the mistake here. Okay, so now if you see here, month to date sales. So the syntax for this one is very simple. Total white MTD and the sum of sales, the expression, comma, the date table, right? Which the date table in this case is the calendar table. And you have the dates MTD function. This function, you will have to use it as part of your calculate. You cannot use it directly. Even in the case of dates MTD, we are using the date table here. And the first argument is expression and then this one. So both of them are giving the same result. Now you might be asking this question, then why should I have two different functions, total MTD and the dates MTD, both of them giving the same output? And what exactly the difference? But what Microsoft suggests, right, you can use dates MTD, that's what they are saying it, but both of them, it gives the same output. And if you see here, and if you scroll down here, and here okay, let me do one thing. I'll just unselect 2000. We'll go one by one. 2011. You'll see it here. Month to date sales. It is giving the Jan, right? So something odd here. Okay, let me do one thing. I'll just unselect that one. And then Jan month. Okay, and 3090, 3000, 6218. And if you scroll down here, and if I select Feb, when it comes to Feb month, the month to date sales value got reset. Up to that, both the total MTD and dates MTD, it is doing the running total or cumulative total. So the current month sales, for example, 1st Jan 3090 was the sales, and then 2nd January 3000. So these two things will get added, and this one will get added, this one, and this one will get added, this one, this one will get added. So both of them gives the same output, and every beginning of new month, this value will get reset. Okay, so this is what the difference between these two things. They might ask you, right, how comfortable are you with these two functions and all. And then what I do is I'll just copy this one and paste it somewhere else. In the interest of time, I'll just reuse this one. I'll just take this one and then, sorry, I just right click on this and then copy this visual. Then I'll paste it here. I can create a new slicer, but still. And then next, I just copy paste this one here, somewhere here. Sorry, here I just no, not this one, same file. 1 second, I just okay, we will leave it. Okay, we will do it here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this as a matrix for the time being. I'm going to convert as a matrix. Okay, fine. So month to date sum of sales and the MTD you have understood. Next one is the quarter to date. Right, so month to date and quarter to date. The next one, what I'm going to do is I just select this visual. Simply we will copy paste that one. Why do we have to type it? The same thing, it is opening the same file again mistakenly. Okay. And here, dates MTD, right? So 1 second, I just select this one. Here the dates MTD. Instead of MTD, QTD, we have to use QTD. That's all. Okay, here let me just check. QTD is there. Yeah, QTD sum of sales is there. And here what we will do is QTD sum of sales. Just for your understanding, I'm just putting it like this. So in this case, yeah, for each month, it shows the same thing. Okay. And what happens, right? It does the cumulative total until the quarter ends. Okay. The April, when you see the April month, every new quarter, the value will get reset. For the month, every new month, the value, the cumulative active value will get reset. It shows, for example, every month beginning, it shows only that specific new month's sales value in all the in the month to date and month to date column. Okay. Month to date column. In the case of quarter to date, every quarter beginning, it will reset the value. It is as simple as this one. So you can use total QTD. Okay, and you can try the same thing here. Okay, and the next one is total YTD, year to date sales. I just reuse the existing one, YTD. Sum of sales here. I just simply paste this one. So you will calendar date, and here instead of QTD, YTD. That's all there. It's very simple, isn't it? And this one I just rename it as YTD. I think I should have checked it in GitHub or in our website. That one have the correct version. Okay, I've taken the previous one. So in this case, what happens? The year to date, it does the cumulative total till the end of the year. Every year beginning, this value will get reset. For example, if I select 2011 and 2012, and if you see here the 2012, the year to date value will get reset. 11 September, October, right? So if you see down here and 2012, yeah, 2nd Jan, 1st Jan, we don't have any sales, and it just, this value got reset. All these month to date, quarter to date, year to date, all these values got reset, because month to date, obviously at the beginning of every month, the value will get reset. In the quarter to date, obviously, right, if you are in the first day of the first quarter, this value will get reset because you are in a new quarter of the next year. Okay, and the year to date also got reset. Okay, and then the next one is the financial quarter to date. For that, I'm going to use this one, total MTD itself, sum of sales, month to date sum of sales. Modeling, and then go to new measure. And then here at the end of it, you need to say this one, comma, I think in the codes, I need to specify single quote 0331. Double quote. Okay, you need to specify the 31. Okay, here. Sorry, here I just put YTD. Okay, what we'll do is we'll try with total QTD and fiscal QTD sales. True false expression. Okay, let me do one thing here. It's correct on the sum of sales. Okay, and then total. Okay, let me do one thing. Total YTD. Why it was not working that time? I have used QTD, right? Fiscal QTD. So actually it is fiscal year. Fiscal year. FY. They say calendar year CY. Fiscal year they say FY. And what is the fiscal year? Here I mentioned about the fiscal year starts from 1st April. Okay. And if you see here, it is doing the cumulative total. And then what happens? The March 31st. 31st March, right? After 31st March, in the 1st April, the fiscal year to date, if you see, this one got reset. Okay. Whereas in the case of year to date, it is every once in a year, the calendar year, every once in a new calendar, the value will get reset. If you see here, this value was not reset, right? This value was not reset, whereas here it is not, because the fiscal year to date we have used it. Fiscal year to date, that means what we are saying is, hey, every the 1st April you reset the value. Okay, and every year you reset the value, and then you do the cumulative total till the 31st March. But in the case of calendar year, start from 1st Jan to till the December 31st, not the next thing. Okay, the March. And if you see here, the same thing, if you see here, March 2012, March 2012, it will be reset. Sorry, next thing. Till the March 2012, it does the cumulative total. Look here. But in 1st April 2012, it got reset. If you see here, it is doing the, because it is the calendar year. It is taking into account of the calendar year. But here it is fiscal year today. Okay. So calendar year ends by December. Till the December, it does the cumulative total, whereas the fiscal. So now you understood what is month to date and what is year to date, quarter to date, and how we can use them in DAX. It's pretty simple. And the thing is, you need to remember this one only thing. Okay, you need to remember this one. That's all. And then the next one is what are the other functions and the opening balance and closing balance. Yeah, the rolling average and moving average. So this one, what I will do is, right, this Saturday I will cover it. In half an hour I will cover it, okay, because I'm getting a lot of calls from office, okay. Since today being a weekday, no, I postponed everything, still I'm getting a lot of calls. The moving average is also very interesting feature, okay, and moving average, rolling average, it's all same. In the case of moving average, you take the average of the specified number of per-year data points. Supposing you have the stock prices, let's say you have 5 days stock prices. Let's the first day is 20 and second day is 22 and 23, 24 and 25. This is the stock prices. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So why 25 is 35 here, I say 42. Okay, it's not a sequential thing. The stock prices varies on different days, right? So let's say 20 here, let's 32 and again 33 and again 24 and 35. See, in the case of moving average, what will happen is, since we have only, let's say, moving average for the 5 days. In this case, it will take all these 5 days stock prices, it will add all these 5 and then you divide it by 5. That is what your average, moving average. And supposing on the 6th day, okay, on the 6th, let's you are in the beginning of fifth, right? 1st Feb to 5th Feb. Let's say you are on 5th Feb, 2023. So if somebody is asking you, give me the 5 days moving average, you take the average of the 1st Feb to 5th Feb, whatever the values, right? You take each and every day's value, add them, and then divide by 5. So that is what your average. Okay, this is a simple average. Okay, it is not called as a moving average, but in the case of moving average, what will happen is at any given point in time, I wanted to see the moving 5 days moving average. If there is a requirement. So in this case, what happens now? You are in 6th Feb, and on this day the averages, the stock price is 34. In that case, what will happen is you take the last 5 months. Okay, and then the earlier month you drop it, and then the latest 5 days, the earlier day, right, the least day, you drop it, because at any given point in time you want to see the 5 days moving average only. Moving average. Okay, so in that case it will drop the first one, and then remaining 5, that starting from the latest to the most recent, and then the least recent will get dropped. In this case, the least recent is this one, the most recent, these 5. On 7th Feb, if you have the stock prices have in your hand, for example 36, so what will happen is it will drop, it will take into account of these 5, and then it will drop these 2 things. Okay, so that is how the moving average works. Okay, the scenario here is, right, this is pretty straightforward. So what functions are we going to use it for this one, right? So that we will take a look at it probably, right, in the Saturday and Sunday we'll wrap up everything, okay? Because I'm getting a lot of calls, okay? And this file also I will share it without fail now, so that you can practice. I'll just clean up everything probably after my office meeting, right? I will send it. And then the recorded video also I'll be send it. And any questions so far, whatever I covered? You're fine with it, right? Fine. This weekend we'll see the plan is next Wednesday we are going to wrap up everything, but that doesn't mean we are going to close it again. We will see, right? Especially the report design, everything, right? The how to do that. I think I covered how to do the dashboard design, everything. Am I correct? Okay. That is one thing is pending from my side. We will
And
do.
project and dashboard.
Yeah, project we will discuss it at the end of it. Okay, don't worry. Okay,
Okay.
no, right?
Yes.
The dashboard report design, no, see, if I say wrap up, it's not, we are going to close it abruptly. Even after everything complete, if we have any questions, we'll have some follow-up sessions. Okay, don't worry. Fine. Thanks for your understanding. This Saturday and Sunday will continue. Okay. This Saturday, we will start by 6:30 p.m. Okay. Only this weekend, we will have this kind of arrangement. Okay. And then from next weekend onwards, right? I think next weekend we will not be continuing. If at all we are going to continue, we will be continue with the follow-up session, all the things. Okay. But again, SQL is there, right? Yeah, the SQL part will take time. Yes, some visuals also will left. Okay, the key influencer visual and some custom visual also will take a look at. Okay, don't worry. Fine. Okay, fine. So I'm going to wrap up. We will continue this weekend. Okay, bye bye.